Charlottesville last weekend, President Trump is really being mocked, and a lot of satire, this in the form of a cartoon for several magazine covers. Here we have this week the cover of The Economist, The New Yorker, and German magazine Der Spiegel, all depicting the President of the United States with symbols of KKK, America's most notorious white supremacist organization. And the president is under fire for saying that both sides are to blame for the violence in Charlottesville. And then yesterday, he initially called the estimated 40,000 anti-racism marchers in Boston, quote, anti-police agitators. So joining me now is Lucia Brooks of the Southern Poverty Law Center, Patrisse Cullors, the co-founder of Black Lives Matters, and Tamara Miller, federal civil rights expert who has served at the Department of Health and Justice. Ladies, it's great to have you all with me. Tamara or Tamara? Let me just get that straight, because I have friends that say it both ways. Okay, Tamara.
Thank you.
So having served in the federal government, have you ever seen this kind of backlash before for a president getting it wrong?
Well, this is a regrettable time. We have federal laws that protect Americans from hate crimes. And this is, of all times, is the time to embrace those laws and not step backward.
So when we think about the way that we've all reacted to this as a country, and specifically to what we covered yesterday with 40,000 people showing up in Boston, and the way that police handled that, and there were under 30 arrests and detainments out of all of that. We know that last year with the Southern Poverty Law Center releasing a map showing 917 active hate groups in America. Alicia, where does that number stand today? Is that actually the number of 917?
Yes, we do. Yes, that's for 2016. We do an annual accounting of the active hate groups in the United States, and that number 917 is for 2016. We fully expect that number to grow for 2017 when that information comes out in February.
Have you clocked new groups, though, since the inauguration? I mean, that have populated and arisen to the attention of the Southern Poverty Law Center since the inauguration?
What's important to know is that those groups that gathered in Charlottesville, those 12 groups of white nationalists, Klan folks, Identity Europa, League of the South, Traditionalist Workers' Party, those are all on our active hate group and have been for a couple of years now, for the most part.
Patrisse, we know Black Lives Matter, that's the movement that you helped to launch in response to the death of Trayvon Martin, has been called a terrorist group, has been called violent and racist, even though it was started because of the antithesis, to be the antithesis of that. Now, the president has referred to what equals to the alt-right as the alt-left. Do you think that that's a proper equation?
No, I don't think it's a proper equation. And in fact, I think what's important for people to know is that Black Lives Matter is a part of a long history of civil rights in this country, Black people fighting for our civil rights in this country. We stand on the shoulders of people like Dr. Martin Luther King, like Ella Baker, like Dick Gregory, may he rest in peace. And we think it's important that people understand, and that this president understands, that Black Lives Matter was formed peacefully, and it continues to be a peaceful movement.
Tamara, when we think about where we've come from a country to learn from our mistakes, why do you think it is we get so easily tripped up by repeating a lot of those same mistakes, especially when we have federal and local and state laws on the books that are supposed to keep boundaries in check?
Well, we have a First Amendment in this country that allows people to speak, and that free speech is protected, includes hate speech, but there are limits. And in fact, when speech is accompanied by threats of violence, weapons, we should all stand up and take notice that criminal acts, violent crime, be it for purposes of hate or for any other purpose, is absolutely something that cannot be tolerated in this country.
We know the DOJ...
I'm happy to stand up against that as a former justice prosecutor.
And the DOJ looking into what happened in Charlottesville, but it is amazing that we think about those images, certainly from Friday night, as well as the deadly violence that happened on Saturday, all within this span of a 24-hour period. And we know in watching the funeral, Heather Heyer's mom saying that they wanted to silence her daughter's voice, but really they've amplified it by what happened. So, Tamara Miller, thank you very much. Patrisse Cullors, thank you. Alicia Brooks, thank you all for your time. I appreciate it.